What's going on, my fellow A-Plusers? It's your host, Adam Perez, certainly coming through once again with a brand new Zenkaiger review for you guys as we're going to be getting into episode number 19. It is, in fact, Toku Tuesday around here at A-Plus Morphinominal, so you know we've got reviews and reactions certainly lined up. But I'm here to go ahead and tackle Zenkaiger, and hopefully you guys have had the opportunity to check out this episode and hopefully started off your week the right way with it as well, guys. So thank you very much for certainly joining us here. If anything, I know I might sound a little bit different today. I have been having some audio issues. For some reason, my microphones are just not working, kind of just acting up for me. I swapped it out with two other microphones and they're still not working. I'm starting to wonder if maybe it's the connection, the wire from my mic to my laptop. When I'm putting it in and out, though, I still get that bells or sound notification that it's being recognized. But anytime I try and pull it up in my settings or anything like that, it's not even finding the microphones that I'm hooking up. So it might be the wire, but I'll have to either shop for another wire, maybe look around for something that might be compatible that I can go ahead and hook up maybe sometime later on this week for you guys. So I apologize if I sound distorted or I sound a little bit off, but hopefully you guys can certainly bear with it and certainly bear through it. So I apologize, guys, but we'll definitely make it work. As always, guys, remember these are simply just my A-plus opinions. At the end of the day, I definitely want to go ahead and know yours, so let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below as we get into episode number 19. For me, guys, I gotta be honest, because I'm always honest with you guys in regards to how an episode hits me. I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode. This episode felt a little bit like a bust to me. I'm not one of those people that I see a brand new design and I think to myself, oh, this episode is incredible because he looks so cool. No, I need more substance than that. And to say the least, to be fair, while some of the other episodes that we've had prior to this haven't really been an abundance of substance at all, but there is something to say about being able to have fun with the themes, some of the dialogue and the witty banter, right? Getting me to chuckle or laugh from time to time. This episode, unfortunately, just didn't do any of that. I didn't really care for the rhinoceros beetle world that we wind up getting in here. I don't know if the beetle maybe has more sentimental a sentimental element to the Japanese culture. I'm not quite sure, unfortunately. If it does, I can understand why they might have went full force into this rhinoceros beetle theme. But for me, it didn't really do anything. I mean, it literally distracted the Zenkaigers all episode. Not one time did I laugh or chuckle about the situation that I found themselves in. It just felt like a really pointless plan by the Toji Tendo, to the point to where I was almost agreeing with Bokuwas when he's putting that hammer down on Barashitara for choosing such a dumbass world or theme this week for them to focus on. You know, the fact that Gigi tries to convince Bokuwas to give it a try sort of thing and see what happens. Okay, no big deal, but for me, I don't see how this plan would have helped the Toji Tendo at all. So it just felt really pointless to me and just a way to distract the Zenkaigers and distract the viewers, honestly, too. I know not every series of Super Sentai is going to be substance-based, but this season continues to show me and prove to me that it is all about selling toys. Cool designs in order to go ahead and sell toys. I mean, goodness, we're 19 episodes in, maybe 20 episodes in. What's the purpose of this season again? Are we supposed to be trying to find Kaito's parents? I thought very early on Kaito's idea was, I want to be the first to do everything, or at least at least be a person that's going to do a first for something, right? We saw his motivation to try and find a way onto the Toji Tendo base to maybe find answers for his parents. Kaito's not even the main person in this story that's pushing his parents' storyline. It's in fact Stacy. So I'm just thinking to myself, is that the end goal, is to give us the parent stuff? And if that's it, if that's the only thread through the entire series, I mean, damn, we're almost 20 episodes into this series and we've barely learned anything. So a little bit disappointed. Some solid episodes, don't get me wrong, because they have had some good themes, some funny themes, great interactions with some of the characters and stuff, pushing the storyline very, very slow paced to say the least. But this episode was just a perfect example, once again, why storyline is just surface level stuff as simplistic as it comes, but we want you to buy our toys. For sure, and that's what we wind up getting here in this episode this week. So 2 things that clearly that jumped out at me. The first, clearly the Kaito parent situation, right? We find ourselves here with Stacy at the beginning of this episode in the Toji Tendo base, trying to go through their database and find out what he can about Kaito's parents. We saw him at the end of last week's episode, ending with him looking at a picture at Kaito's parents and clearly having some sort of connection or remembering them in some way. So when we see him on a Toji Tendo base, he's trying to put in information or passwords to try and get as much information about Kaito's parents as he can, but unfortunately, none of the passwords that he's working or that he's using is in fact working. I mean, homeboy even does poses, even does the Zenkaiser, roll call and stuff, and nothing happens. So we see Stacy walk away, or at least nothing happens that he knows of. But we do get the opportunity to see this image, if you will, this display of Kaito's parents officially wake up. When he first brings them up, they've got their eyes closed. They almost look dead, like somebody took pictures or mugshots of like their deceased body. Really creepy as F stuff. And then even creepier when their eyes actually open. It feels very digitized. For some reason, I get like Go Buster vibes here. The idea of like the remnants of their parents' sort of mind or something, maybe being trapped in a database or being able to still kind of communicate with you. I mean, we'll clearly see where that storyline goes. But I continue to be interested in it. But the fact that you literally give this scene 2 minutes of airtime, 3 minutes of airtime, and don't really push the envelope any further than that, a little bit disappointing. I mean, it does feel as though Kaito's parents is sort of a running theme through this episode, because first off, at the very end of this episode, you also see Kaito picking up a picture of his family and the episode ending while he's looking at his parents also. I don't know if they did that in back-to-back episodes for a particular reason, or if they just forgot, oh, we left this episode on this same exact moment, it felt like, but just for Stacy. But the idea alone that we get to see that Kaito's parents had sort of this upgrade in their database for Kaito at some point in time certainly comes through, right? We see Sichin automatically remember that, or something awakens inside of him and he remembers that, oh wait, there's a super upgrade for Zenkaiser, and now he gets the opportunity to turn into Super Zenkaiser, right? Like I think it's even Yi-chan mentions is the idea that, you know, his parents clearly wanted to protect him, knowing that at some point in time he certainly was going to need an upgrade, and was just forward thinking and the idea of having this ready for him when the time certainly comes. So the Kaito's parents theme at least continues to flow through this episode, even if it's not really felt too incredibly much, to say the least. The second thing about this episode that jumped out at me, clearly the Zenkaiju gear certainly made quite the impression. Clearly inspiration from Zooranger's Dragon Caesar, if I'm not mistaken, or MMPR's Dragon Zord, if you will. I freaking love this design. It looks incredible on Kaito, or Zenkaiser I should certainly say, and this is the first time that I feel like Zenkaiser is part of the team. Not that he hasn't been part of the team, but I just mean aesthetically, like just based off of what he's wearing. Kaito's like an official Kikai now. Like this is, I feel like this upgrade makes him part of the Kikai family, just as bulky, just as inspired and themed off of another Super Sentai series like our Kikai. I'm really looking forward to the time when we have the entire Zenkaiger team together, along with Zenkaiser, or I should say along with Super Zenkaiser now, because I think they're going to look great together. But yeah, this costume was just badass, man. Whoever put this together, absolutely breathtaking stuff. I also really love the drill spear that he winds up having, able to utilize it as like a grappling hook, also weaponizing it as he's spinning around the monster and just shooting away at him. Really cool stuff. Even sort of that final shot that he has where he throws the drill spear up in the air, and just as it comes down, he fires too, so it winds up adding that extra oomph at the end of his final attack. Really great, really great stuff. So for me, I had a ton of fun just seeing the design, how much of a Kikai he certainly looks like. But we haven't even seen the full display of it yet, right? Like, I think it's called the Zenkaiju O, I believe. where we do get to see sort of this Dragon Zord in its own formation with a mixture of like the Dragon Caesar and I believe the V-Rex from Time Ranger. I think that might be a combination, or maybe that's what Zenkaiser might have. I'm not quite sure, simply because of the fact that after a while, guys, I usually will stop watching or stop reading the magazine scans because I don't want to be spoiled on everything. And now that we are getting to that halfway point almost of the season, I'm probably not going to look at magazine scans or dive too deeply into them, just because I want something to surprise me as the season continues on. But incredible stuff here, and I also love the fact, just a quick honorable mention, shout out to Seachan and Flint for really working together. I love the idea that it's Seachan that has the plans, and you get somebody like Flint, who's clearly an engineer genius, to go ahead and put together this Zenkaiju gear for Zenkaiser. But what I loved is leave it up to Flint to pull yet another pirate card in here and realizing, like, you guys think we just did this to help you guys out too? Like, no, trust me, there's an added benefit for me as well. Not only am I going to make you a Zenkaiju gear also, I'm going to make us a Zenkaiju gear as well. And so she did in fact duplicate what Zenkaiser has, and now Zenkaiser himself certainly has it. So I'm really looking forward to his transformation. Hopefully we'll get those in next week's episode, or at some particular point. I do believe it's next week's episode based off of the preview that I certainly might have seen. But outside of the Kaito parent stuff with Stacy, which was only like 2 to 3 minutes of this episode, along with the Zenkaiju Gear debut, that's really all this episode had for it, honestly. Quick honorable mention probably does go out to the Zord battle as well this week. I kind of enjoyed it because it almost looked like somebody rolled just the cityscape set that they create for their big mecha battles. It's almost like somebody just rolled that entire set or model kit just outside in the backyard, because you could see all the natural trees. Like, they just took it into the forest and then had the Kikai come in with their costumes and stuff and just do everything outside and behind the lot or something like that. So I kind of like the idea that they went more real world element. And it's all about angles, it's all about perspective. But trust me, if you look at the battle again, it feels very much like they just took the model kit set of the city, rolled it outside into the forest, and filmed that way for the most part, to go ahead and replicate this battle for the rhinoceros beetle gear that they wind up having here this week. But yeah, other than that, guys, again, if you're disappointed with my thoughts on this week's episode, I understand, but you know what? It just didn't hit me this week, man. The theme was lazy. The writing, I felt, was super lazy. Nothing humorous or witty to really kind of make me chuckle too much. And yeah, when you're only focusing on, here's another upgrade, here's something else cool for you to visually look at, but not really get any substance in the episode, those are the episodes that kind of fall by the wayside for me. So we'll see what happens, guys. I'm hoping that things certainly do turn around as we continue to push forward. Haven't minded this season, but I definitely do feel it could have certainly put its best foot forward. You know, somebody, I think it was Jezer from the Illuminati, commented on something that I put over on Twitter the other day, or earlier on today, mentioning the idea that this episode was a little bit of a bust to me. It just didn't connect. And he did ask me the question if I felt like Zenkaiser after Karamazor sort of was trying to reach a different audience, if you will, like maybe a more kid-friendly, if you will. And I don't necessarily know if it was Zenkaiger that certainly started that trend. I mean, when you look at the Reiwa era of Super Sentai in general, Karamazor and Zenkaiger, both clearly pretty lighthearted and suitable for kids, to say the least. Karamazor certainly still came through with a really solid and fun and interesting storyline as well, but I do feel like Super Sentai has gotten less darker, more lighter over the years, especially if you look at something like a Gokaiger, Go Busters and things like that, and just progress. I do feel like it has gotten more lighthearted, but the Reiwa era so far definitely is pushing that, to say the least. So I don't necessarily know if that's the case, because I still think you can push towards a certain demographic and still make compelling stories. I think Karamazor's a perfect example of that. This, for me, just feels like sometimes Super Sentai can be rather uneven. Like, one season is great, solid storytelling. Another one is clearly just toys and design based. And then they kind of flip-flop back and forth, it feels like, for me sometimes. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for something that's a little bit more substance based as we pass through Zenkaiger, and we'll see what happens. This is just the first half of the Zenkaiger series. Who's to say they don't push on the gas pedal and things really start changing and we start really getting into the nitty gritty of everything that's going on in the season in the second half. So that's some of the reasons why I continue to stick around, because you never know how quickly a series will certainly change its pacing. But for me, again, episode number 19 just didn't quite do it, but maybe it did for you. If you appreciated this episode, more power to you guys. Definitely let me know why you appreciated this episode, or why you enjoyed it, or maybe why you didn't, in the comment section box below, guys. But other than that, that's going to do it for us here. We will be having other videos for you guys out this week. If anything, I believe we might have a couple of movies headed your way. Karamazor versus Real Soldier, along with the Zenkaiger All Red episode, or movie, I should say. I'll try and get those to you guys this week as well, so keep an eye out for that. But other than that, guys, that's going to do it for us here today. Thank you very much for certainly joining us. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, keep it A+. Full throttle, non-stop. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
If you enjoy our content and want to be a part of helping our channel grow, become a Patron supporter. We have affordable tiers to choose from that offer a variety of exclusive and early access content, from audio files for all of our shows for you to enjoy on the road, access to our Discord community, and plenty of reactions, reviews, character breakdowns, and more. Check us out at patreon.com/aplusopinions, and as always, remember, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so anytime we drop a brand new video, you will be notified.